is cjhoyle. Today is Friday, April the 2nd, 2021, and I'm riding here on St. Clair Avenue West here in Toronto. And I'm just going to make a right turn here at Lansdowne Avenue, because in this video I'm going to be giving a narrated tour on my bicycle here on Lansdowne Avenue. So I'm turning now from heading in the east direction to now heading in the south direction, and we'll make our way down Lansdowne, down the hill towards Lake Ontario. Lansdowne doesn't go all the way to Lake Ontario, but what I mean is that the ride that I'll be taking today is almost entirely downhill. Lansdowne goes as far as Queen Street West here in Toronto. And the beginning of this street here is mostly residential houses on either side of the street. And back up there at St. Clair Avenue West, I could see that there was a streetcar turnaround point so that streetcars can do a short turn, because there's a streetcar line that runs along St. Clair Avenue West. And there's a little bit of a curve in Lansdowne here. Lansdowne is one of the major streets that forms the grid of streets in Toronto, but it wasn't one of the original ones that was laid out at the very beginning. It was one that was sort of pieced together with a bunch of existing roads. So it had different names and different sections, and the sections don't really line up perfectly. We're now at Davenport Road, waiting for our traffic light. Over there on the right you can see there's a white bike parked. That unfortunately is a ghost bike, which marks the site of a cyclist being killed. That one is for someone named Tom Sampson, who died back in 2012. So now we're still mostly residential area here, but sort of multi-residential buildings as opposed to individual single-family homes. Although interestingly, this facility that you can see over on the left, that three-story office tower and maybe another building that's on that same site, that's actually a facility where nuclear uranium pellets are created for nuclear power in Ontario, which is kind of seems like an odd place to do that with, you know, so much residential area around it. The only reason I'm aware of that site is because it's come up in the media a few times when they've sort of been reapplying for their permit to do that work. So back there we went underneath of a bridge, and that was for the Canadian Pacific Railway line, the CP Rail. And I'm now at Dupont Street. Over to my right we passed a building which has the Food Basics grocery store in it, which is a sort of budget grocery store that I like to shop at from time to time. It's owned by the same... It's run by the same company as Metro grocery stores, so it's their sort of low price version of Metro, which I'm a big fan of low prices for groceries in particular. It's kind of the same as how Loblaws or Superstore or the Loblaw Corporation has No Frills as their sort of budget supermarket store. We're just crossing Lappin Avenue here, which is east-west street, residential, but it's very commonly used by cyclists because it connects up with another street further along called Hallam, and they form a nice east-west route through neighborhood streets. So you can see there's a little bit of a, you know, we're still mostly residential, but you can see there's sort of remnants of some commercial, sort of village, historic downtown sort of architecture around here. You can see there's some businesses that I'm passing through here. And we're at Wallace Avenue, and we've got a traffic light. which is green. Just waiting for our turn to cross. So today is April the 2nd, and it's a Friday. And I'm filming this at around 11:30 in the morning, which normally on a Friday would be work hours for me, but this particular Friday is Good Friday of the Easter long weekend, so it's a statutory holiday. I believe last year on a Good Friday I filmed a video where I rode along Lakeshore Avenue, or Lakeshore Road. It's kind of the only long weekend that we have here in Canada where the extra day that you get on the weekend is the Friday as opposed to the Monday. Some people get the Monday off as well as the Friday, depending on their, organization. But Friday is the statutory holiday that most people get off. So here we are now at Bloor Street West, which is a very major east-west street that has a subway line which runs underneath of it, and Lansdowne has a station that we passed back there. One of the stops on the Bloor Danforth Line 2 stops right back there. And I've filmed a number of videos showing Bloor Street West over the years, and I'm still due to get back there to film another one, because since the last time that I filmed it, they've added protected bike lanes on Bloor that extend all the way out to Runnymede. So the last video that I filmed there was before that installation work took place. That happened back at the end of last summer, around August, I believe. So we're back to residential houses along Lansdowne again. It's quite chilly this morning for early April, or it seems like it at least. We had some weather in the last few weeks where it was, in the sort of double digits at times, and sometimes when it wasn't in the double digits, it would be like, 8 or 9 degrees Celsius. Kind of got used to that, and last night it went below freezing, so down below 0 degrees Celsius, and I think it's only about 1 or 2 right now, but there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's really nice to be out here. But definitely chillier than it was, on previous weekends that we've had recently. We just went past a high school back there on the right, and we're now just about at College Street, which is a major east-west street that runs through downtown Toronto that has a streetcar line along it. I made a video more than a year ago now where I rode my bike along the full length of College Street, starting from just a block or so to the right of here. That's where it terminates. And that's because College Street merges with this next street we're going to cross here, which is called Dundas Street West. Over on the right, there's that No Frills grocery store, which I was kind of talking about how that chain exists here in Canada. And the facade of that building that's over there, that actually belonged to a factory which used to make cash registers. Although the building that's there is new, but the facade has been kept. And we're now heading underneath of another set of railway tracks here. These are, I believe, belong to the CN rail line, Canadian National Rail, and they carry the trains that go on GO Transit's lines on the Milton line, the Kitchener line, the Barrie line, and also the Union Pearson Express, or the UpX, as it's often short form too. That cash register factory for a time was also, before it was a No Frills, it was another grocery store. It was a Nob Hill Farms grocery store, or so I've read. That was long before my time here in Toronto. It's been a No Frills for as long as I've been here. So yeah, Lansdowne's kind of an interesting street. It sort of changes character quite a few times along the way. And like I said, it's not perfectly straight, it kind of curves. Although I believe this portion down here has always been known as Lansdowne, and it was named after a person with the last name, I believe it had the last name Lansdowne, who was at one time the Governor General of Canada. So anyway, this traffic light right up ahead is Queen Street West, and that's where Lansdowne terminates. But I hope you've enjoyed joining me on this narrated tour. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.